What's up, race fans? Thanks for tuning in. Slingin Dirt Media YouTube channel. I'm in the shop with Matt Watts tonight, and we're hearing about the big King of Sport mod race coming up here at Florence Speedway this weekend. And what else was it, Matt? Oh, yeah, that's right. Matt just won him a championship at Florence Speedway. Yep. Congratulations on that.
Yep, appreciate it. Yep, just first time trying it and going out and doing it, and hate to say it, but I'll probably be done with that because that was a lot of fixing the car early Saturday morning from if I got in a wreck on Friday or anything,
right,
to make it for the points on Saturdays. But we pulled it off and can't be happier.
So does it take any? I don't want to say it takes the fun out of it, but does it make it more like a job versus having fun?
Later in the year, it does. So okay, like when everything's going smooth, you know, which doesn't happen often, but when it does, you know, it's not
things
as bad.
Go smooth in racing. What?
Yeah. If you don't get tore up on Friday and you run good, and, you know, you have a top 5 on Friday, and then you go to Florence and have top 5, it's great. But when you get tore up on Friday and you have to be here at 8 a.m., work for 8 hours to get the car ready and most of the way and finish it when you get to Florence.
So for our newcomers and people that don't realize this, you're not just racing at Florence every week. You're racing at Moeller on Friday night and then totally preparing the car again the very next day to do it again on Saturday. So you're racing 2 nights a week.
Yep. Sometimes 3. Yep.
Sometimes 3.
Yep. We ran Brush Creek. We ran Brush Creek twice this year. We won one, and then we came from the tail to third the very first race of the year.
Now Brush Creek, they do a lot of Sunday stuff, right?
I think early and late in the year. So they do Sunday fun days, they call them, early in the year and late in the year, and then they go Saturdays during the middle of the year.
Right. Yeah, Steven, the Brush Creek, they're part of our show too. We like to make sure we plug and talk about them as well.
And then the other track I ran was Mudlick. So we ran there twice. We won the 1,000 win there, and then we came from the tail to third. We had trouble in the heat race and started on the tail and came all the way up to third in the feature there too. So,
I know it's fair to say, do you have a favorite track? I mean, obviously it's nice that these tracks are both within Moeller's 15 minutes away.
Yeah. Moeller's, get there in probably 20 minutes from here.
Yeah.
Florence, it's about an hour. Atomic's an hour. Budlick's an hour and a half.
And each track is a completely different driving style.
Yeah, they are. That's why it's like, do I have a favorite track? Because they're all kind of different.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Moeller's, and I really like Mudlick, really.
Okay.
It's just more my style. Wide open, something a little to lean on. They got a lot of banking there in the one turn, and them straightaways are so long. I don't know what you're going to in them straightaways exactly, but I know it's over 100 mile an hour.
Really?
Entering the corner, on sideways on dirt. And
that's
the speed's really nice. I mean, it's just something you don't
fun.
get. You don't get that at every track.
No. Yeah. So where are you at in the points at Moeller?
We're second in points at Moeller.
Okay.
Right now, Nick Snell's leading, and I think this Friday is the last points race, so we don't have a shot at catching him. We just had a couple bad breaks there, when we got tore up on Friday, had to fix it for Saturday type of thing, and and he's won, I don't know, 10. I think he's won 10 there.
Gosh.
We won 2, he's won 10. It's he's tough.
So I don't know, do they do double points or anything on championship night? I know Florence didn't.
Yeah, Florence didn't. I don't know if they do or not. I don't think so, but even with that, I don't really see.
Really? Okay.
We're far enough
he would
back.
he'd have to break pretty early on and not race at all.
I don't think he would even have to show up.
Really? So he's got locked.
Yeah.
Okay.
The last, I think, I don't know, a couple races ago or whatever it was, whenever I had issues, had a brake floater break and all that stuff, that kind of sealed the deal.
Okay. Yeah.
Or I should say brake floater, brake caliper.
Break something. You broke something.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not allowed to run floaters anymore, but I had one of them break last year.
Yeah. So you were talking about in the YouTube channel or on the Facebook. This is the YouTube. In the Facebook version, you started out in a Chevette.
Yep.
Tell me about your first Chevette.
So my first Chevette, my dad bought from a guy in West Union. Like I said on the Facebook version, we seen him there at Florence one night. He was helping Stevie Landrum. One of them had a for sale sign on it. I'm like, hey, Dad, why don't you buy me that? I'll start racing. And he joked with his buddies and said, "You get on the AB honor roll.
When you get better grades, then we'll talk."
Yeah, and sure enough, within a month, when I brought my report card home, I had better grades, and we bought one. And the rest is history. Lots of time and money later. But so the first Chevette he bought for a guy in West Union, and it was all right. But 14 years old, I wasn't even driving on the street yet. So Chevettes, you had to shift them, and I don't remember what the first one had in it, but the second one we built ourselves, and it had a 4-speed in it. And, you had to push down, over, and up to get in reverse,
yeah.
So, and you had to constantly shift.
Right.
We ran Brown County, we ran Brush Creek. I think we went to another track or something, but that was pretty much the main
Mudlick
two.
had. I remember the first time. I think the first time I ever seen the Chevettes back in the day. I think the first time I ever seen them was at Mudlick.
Yeah, I don't know if Mudlick was. I think Mudlick had just closed down or something right around the time I was racing Chevettes.
And he ran them at old Brown County out in Russellville too, didn't he?
Yeah, that's where I'm talking about. That's where my first races was.
Okay.
Brown County.
Okay.
And then I went to Brush Creek when it was still big.
Right.
So you're screaming that thing in third gear.
Yeah. The big D oval, big tri-oval track.
Yep.
The one you get lost on.
Yep. And then
that track was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fast, and not a lot of guys in our class, but there was late models and mods blowing motors every night because you're just cranking the RPMs constantly.
Sure. I had a super dirt stock, went out there, and we talked about Spencer Watson. Spencer was tough. Spencer, he was good, especially at Florence. So, man, I was lucky to stay on the same lap with Spencer.
Yeah.
We went to Brush Creek, and we were buddies, and we went out there together and stuff, and we were pitted next to each other. We went out for the heat race, and I knew he started behind me, so I was expecting him to come screaming by me. So we took the green flag. Next thing you know, I started setting the car and started making my laps, and just you never lift. To imagine a tri-oval shaped dirt track, this thing was you're constantly swooping and diving and swooping and diving, so you're like constantly had the car cocked the entire time around.
Yep.
I never let off the gas. I never seen Spencer, so we pulled in the pits, and he pulled up next to me and pulled the helmets off. I said, "Hey," "where was you at?" And he said, "I was right behind you." I said, "Well, what happened? What's wrong with your car?" He said, "Nothing wrong with it." I said, "Well, how come you didn't pass me?" He said, you had the line. He said, "You had it going on." He said, "Every time I tried to go under you, you'd pull away. Every time I tried to go around you, you'd pull away." He said, "I needed to be in the same tire track you were in." It made me feel good because that's probably the only time I could ever hold him off. But that was a fun track.
Yeah, I had the same thing with, I don't know why, but Weasel Rhodes was driving a Chevette against me there. So I think the flagman had a car or something. So it's like I show up just trying to get experience, get a little better. And, I had Josh Tidwell was in one and had Weasel Rhodes in one.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's guys like, you ain't going to run half them guys, you know what I mean? But we had a lot of fun. And I think we finished in the top 5 a couple times there.
Right.
So.
I think that's right about the time when they started doing the Enduros. They were doing those.
I think they did it right after that. Yeah.
I remember me and Weasel, we were walking up from the pits, walking up the lineup chute there to go get paid, and they got the Enduros and lined up in the lineup chute getting ready to go. We were walking by this one car, and the stereo's on full blast. There's 6 guys in this car sitting there, all got helmets on, they're all just headbanging away. Me and Weasel were looking at it like, what the heck is this?
Yeah. A lot of guys, I think, leave before the Enduros just because they don't want to see somebody get hurt. But there's other guys that don't show up until the Enduros start to watch. It's so crazy.
That's their thing.
Yeah.
So I guess, I don't know if that kind of led to, but now it's the Crown Vics are really picking up. You find an old Crown Vic somewhere, a taxi, a police car if you're lucky, and turn that into a race car.
Yeah, I mean, for guys getting into it or wanting to get back into it, just want to have fun. You're not worried about the, you don't want to spend a lot of money, but yet you're not worried about the winning a lot either.
Sure.
That's a class. Kind of how the legend started, and same aspect.
One of the big things I've seen that I like about it is this, man, I like that beginner class. I mean, trust me, I love seeing late models, and I love seeing sprint cars, and I love seeing things go really fast. But I like a beginner class too that's affordable for people, so that way, hey, the average working man can still go out and play and have fun. And the sport mods and compacts, I feel like those are both kind of a beginner class.
Yeah,
both are starting to get more and more expensive.
Yeah.
Now the Crown Vics is another beginner class. I'm like, hey, this is another entry level type position class for the average guy to get into.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, the sport mods started out as a beginner class.
Yeah, maybe not so much anymore.
I feel like they're not that much anymore. I mean, beginners can still get into it.
Sure.
Beginner for somebody to get into something with like a 4-bar or 3-link car, something that's,
it's tough.
A tube chassis, that it's definitely beginner that way. But, it's, I can't afford to run regular mods. I can't afford to run late models.
Sure.
So, this is where I fit in, where I can afford. And And I think that's where a lot of people. So you got a lot of good guys in this class that's not beginners. That's been doing it a long time. Or
I think there's
whatever,
there's probably right now a half a dozen, maybe more, of guys that were in that same situation. Maybe they ran modifieds, ran it for years, but man, they just got too expensive. That it's out of their budget.
Yeah.
Then the sport mods came along. Well, hey, I can do that. That I can piece together. And for the people at home don't realize, the sport mod and the regular modified, big motor difference.
Yeah.
Shocks, big difference.
Motor and shocks is probably the two biggest differences.
Yeah. Other than
the
that,
rest
it's
of that,
basically the same car, but just a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Cheaper to operate, cheaper to run.
Yeah. Nothing cheap in racing anymore. But,
not anymore.
You got
cheap
guys,
is out the window.
At least $10,000 in a mod motor. That's top 10 competitive, at least minimum. And
I guess maybe a little less if you wanted to go crate. Get a crate.
Well, in the regular mod.
Regular mod. Oh, God.
At least minimum.
Minimum 10,
that's
15.
like run 15th. But a lot of guys got 20, 30,000. Some guys got $40,000. In these mod motors, and whereas these motors, you can get a crate race ready. I think it's a little more now, but it used to be like for like $7,000 carb to pan.
Bells and
now
whistles,
I think it's a little. Now you might be at like 85, something like that.
Still, man, a racing engine, a racing setup, bells and whistles, carbureted to oil pan.
Yeah,
8,500, man. That's not crazy. That's not crazy numbers. Not like again the regular modifieds that are 30, 40, or late models that are 40 plus.
Yeah, and that's a new motor too.
Sure.
So it's now that these new seals has been out after a couple of years, you can afford to buy somebody's motor that ran a couple of years. You could probably pay $3,500, $4,000 carb to pan.
Yeah, if a guy's looking to start out and doesn't want to have to go buy all the brand new stuff, you could pick up decent used stuff and make it affordable and start learning.
Race-ready cars for $8,000. Like I just seen one today.
Race ready. Yeah.
With a crate motor, it's only got like 20 races on it.
Yeah.
And fully race ready car for I think it was $8,500.
Turnkey.
Yeah.
Man,
so I'm that's you can't complain about that.
No, you really can't. You know, and that's what I like is, man. I feel like that's. Like I said, man, the average guy, him and his buddy or him and his brother-in-law was like, man, let's get out there and let's do it. Let's have some fun, And we'll figure out who's going to drive or whatever. But I feel like if we don't start getting more of those people in, man, the numbers of cars is declining pretty bad,
Yeah, it's definitely from growing up as a kid, always at the racetrack. I mean, I don't even remember not being in a racetrack. I mean, since I was little, and I'm 35 now, so. For the last probably 32 years at the racetrack,
that's what you do on the weekends.
I was seeing a definite decrease in a lot of stuff, but I'm also seeing. I shouldn't say that. I've seen a decrease, but like in the bigger classes.
Sure.
Because people just can't afford it anymore.
Yeah.
But you see like. There's been many nights at Florence or Moeller that we've had 40 on a regular 500 win show.
Yeah.
That'd be almost 40 sport mods in the class. So it's, this class is definitely booming. There's a ton of them out there. And same with compacts.
Yeah.
They seem to be the two biggest classes every night.
Sure. So. And so I was talking to one of the guys, I don't remember the guy's name, and I apologize for that, but the guy that won like the last Crown Vic race at Florence, come over wherever they're at over in Indiana, and he's like, man, he said, we race for $75 a win. I said, we come over here and race for $300. This is awesome. Like, man, I think we're onto something here,
Yeah.
I think that's definitely a class that's growing and could be picked up more on a more steadily basis around here,
Yeah, even if they had like a couple classes, they rotated in and out.
Yeah.
So you don't have to run 5 classes, 6 classes every night because it's just too long. But
sure,
you have classes. We'll run this guy once a month, this class once a month.
Time management. Especially if you're a Friday night track, you need to be trying to be thinking courtesy your guys that are racing tomorrow. Whether they got to travel home, get home, and get a little bit of shut-eye before they do the whole program, get the car ready for the next day and all that, Yeah,
and you also got to be courteous of people work.
Sure, people work.
Especially dirt racing and that. You don't have guys that do it for a living going to go run a Friday night track every week. But
exactly.
So you got to start late enough they can get there, but you got to get done early enough they can get a little sleep before they got to go.
Do it all again tomorrow on the next day.
So,
Gotcha. So, points championship at Florence.
Yep.
Probably locked on the second. Who's running?
Yep.
Who's running third at Moeller?
Oh man,
do you know?
I think it's Gary Griffith. I think Gary Griffith is third, and I think Dallas is fourth. I believe.
Okay. Is that a close battle there? Or do you know?
I think they're within 80 points. So them two is a little closer. I think if I wasn't to show up, I'd probably drop to either third or fourth.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but with me showing up, I should be able to hold on a second unless something catastrophic, which I hope not.
Yeah,
we're getting ready for this, 10,000.
Yeah, you got a big one coming up next week.
So Thursday's practice, so kind of got a short turnaround. So we're gonna race Friday, shake the car down. We fix some things, change some things, and then Saturday, wash the car, start getting it ready for that.
Saturdays you're get ready for next week.
Yep. So
yeah, three nights. So Thursday's a practice, then heat races, and you got full features and everything on Friday night.
Yep, twin 1,000 win features. We're starting 25 cars in each one.
Nice. Now, is there heat races on Saturday as well, or
no?
Did I see heat races?
I seen it was like B mains. I think Conti's on Saturday.
B mains, non-qualifiers, and Crown Vics.
Yeah, Crown Vics is on Saturday, and then obviously the 10,000 win both features. So
right.
I guess how the points maybe you accumulate through the heat races, qualifying, and your features on Friday.
I apologize. I don't know the full format, but I'm sure you can get all that on FlorenceSpeedway.com, and you can get all that info there.
Yep.
So we were talking about the entry-level classes. There's another one we didn't mention, probably the Legend cars.
Yep.
You ever done any Legend racing?
I have not. I wanted to. I was going to drive one of my buddy's cars, towards the end of this year, and he ended up, it got in a wreck, got tore up, and I'm like, I ain't asking. I mean, he ain't gonna have him fix the car just so I could go out and run it. But I'm sure I will next year. Next year I don't plan on running points. This year it was a lot. I've never tried to run for points at two tracks since I've been in the cars before.
Right,
so
right. That would be that's tough.
Yeah, it's very tough.
I mean, I know it's been done.
Yeah,
I think
we've raced 34 or 35 races so far this year.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot.
Now, if my memory's correct, I believe the last person to win championship, he won it Friday night Moeller and Saturday night at Florence. I believe it was John Whitney. I think that was his last time he won a championship, I believe, and he won both. He may have won a Moeller championship after that, but I know he won both the same year at least once.
Yeah, I think a little after that, he kind of slowed down a little bit after that.
Yeah.
Probably got a little expensive and time consuming, and
brought
the fun back into it.
He's got some different ventures going on. He's doing some different stuff. So Speedco and stuff like that, which is again, John Whitney's a part of our podcast with the Speedco, and he does a lot of our artwork, and man, we love it. John gets me, man. He gets my style. He knows what I like, and just nails it.
Yeah, that always helps.
Yeah. So we were talking about the Legends. You said you never drove one.
Nope. I drove go-karts for 12 years, but I don't think it'd be kind of a mix, a mix between the karts and then the cars that I'm in. It'd kind of be right in between somewhere.
I've dabbled in it a little bit, not as much as I like. I mean, I'd do it again. Driven one a couple of times. The Tri-State Legend Series that we have going on here. I know Steven from Brush Creek, those guys have a Legend Series there as well. It's kind of like I don't know if you want to call it a go-kart or a golf cart on steroids, something like that. But definitely a fun little car to drive. And again, that's another car that I think is affordable. You can spend as much money as you want, but again, it's one of those less than 10 grand. You can have a turnkey car.
Yeah, I got my buddy races one of them, and his son, and I was talking to his son Saturday at Florence, and like the tires he's had on his car for 2 years.
Really?
2 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
You gonna get tires to last on this thing for 2 years?
No,
probably not. Probably not even 2 weeks.
I think we have a lot thinner sidewalls than them too. Let them sit over winter. They'll probably drive right.
Those cars are running a little Huser tires now. They got dirt Husers on them, and it's. I know they were running like the rain tires, and now they've kind of gone to the Huser tires on those things. And again, it's just a fun little car to get in and drive, just something to have fun and not mortgage the house to do it.
Yeah. I mean, there's guys spending $25,000 on race ready cars for the Legends too.
Yeah,
but,
you can.
That's top of the line.
Yeah.
But it's one of them classes I think you can still compete without spending all the crazy money. I mean, you got some guys that don't have the greatest stuff that I've seen win races this year.
Yes, so. That a buddy of mine. Steve Duderstadt drives the 39, the Frankenstein car. That guy does not have the top of the line stuff, but he knows what he's doing with his stuff and pays attention to the details, and his car's always fast.
Yeah, same like Casey Ohm.
Yes,
he don't have top of the line whatever.
Yeah,
and he's won a couple races already this year. He's been tough too here late in the year. So
the thing that Duderstadt sold me on those cars is he's told me like you knew how much work you got to put into these things.
Mm-hmm.
He said, man, I've loaded mine up in a trailer, and I'd be busy working for like the next 2 or 3 weeks and couldn't get to the track. He said, so I never unloaded it. The next time I unloaded it at the track, wiped the dust off of it, and went out and ran second or won. I'm like,
yeah,
now that's my kind of program.
yeah. I think I think that was probably maybe more a couple of years ago, because now it's a little more competitive than it was.
It's getting there.
Still,
I think it's one of those things that's starting to grow a little bit. It's building a little bit of momentum, which is a good thing. Anything in our sport in the dirt world, and anything that's slinging dirt, it's building momentum. I think that's a good thing.
Yep. Can't complain. More cars means more people, means, the sport ain't gonna die out.
Yeah. We need fans, man. We got to get the fans back in the seats, watching the YouTube channel and finding a driver they like, and just people makes the world go around.
Yep, for sure.
So what kind of plans you got after the King Sport Mod race? Is that gonna pretty much wrap up the season, or
no? I mean, what ultimately is, we're going to run that race. I just listed the car for sale this week. It's 2021 Shaw, and I've already got a new Shaw ordered. So
really,
if
the championship car is for sale, folks.
Yep, it's for sale. We'll sell it rolling, or we'll sell it
however you want.
Whatever, yeah. I don't own the motor, so I can't sell it race ready. But
right. But I'm sure the guy who does own the motor might be interested, maybe. For the right numbers.
Yeah, for the right numbers. Everything's for sale, right?
Right.
But, so that's for sale. So if it sells, we'll call it a season after the 10th K.
Sure.
If it don't, we'll go hit up. There's a couple other big races, I think, right after that, we typically race till the snow flies. So.
Yeah. I did the post-race interview with modified track champion at Florence this past week, Pete Holt.
Yep.
And he said that night he had a guy coming was looking at or probably going to buy his car at 9 a.m. the next morning.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, it's a good thing you don't have a lot of work to do. He says, man, I'm very happy I don't have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
So
it helps not living that far from the track, too.
Sure. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I guess he's probably, I don't know, I would relatively say he's to Florence what you are to Moeller? Probably. Yeah.
Probably, yeah. I would say.
Local guy.
Yeah, that's his local home track, and
I
feel like that's my home track too, just because I was raised there. But my home track absolutely is Moeller's. You can't. 20 minutes, so there's no other track within close to that. So
I've been. I grew up in Brown County, but I went to Brown County a few times. I lived kind of like in between Williamsburg and Mount Orem.
Yeah,
but I always went to Florence. So it's like weird to say Florence was my home track, but I lived out here, and back then Moeller track wasn't even around. So that wasn't even 2 miles from my mom and dad's house where I grew up. 2.6, I think it is, from driveway to driveway.
Yeah.
That's insane. It's like, why didn't you have this here when I was a kid?
I think one's been around about 15 years now or something like that.
Yeah, I think so, right around there. Kyle Wayne Scott, he could probably tell you exactly. Yeah, he does a great job of keeping records, and I think he's got some of those numbers stuff.
Yeah.
I think he's been there for about the entire time, one way or another, in and out, doing races and stuff.
Yeah.
For C103, which,
still doing the C103, so he's
still
doing
them. Yeah. Gotcha. So you got a new car ordered for next year.
Yep.
New Shaw.
Yep.
Anything else different? Pretty much just gonna same story, newer page.
Yep. Not running points. I think we're gonna go hit some bigger races and just go run where we want to run, and if we want to take off a weekend to go do some camping with the family or something. My kids, my youngest one's 12, and then we got a 17-year-old now, and the one already moved up now to the house. And, we only got a few years left with them. You know what I mean? And
you got a graphics business too.
Yeah. So
that's keeping you busy.
Too. Oh yeah, for sure. We do the graphics on a lot of race cars and a lot of commercial stuff for the race cars. So a lot of guys in racing either have sponsors or they own businesses. So we do a lot of graphics for a lot of different people and throughout the racing community too.
Right.
So
But
yeah, Zach keeps you busy, and then next year we're just gonna probably put a little more fun back into it. Not that running points isn't fun. It is, but
it puts a little more pressure.
You're talking 35 races, and probably 6 of them you're 8-hour days fixing a car between Friday and Saturday, and it's just towards the end of the year it takes a little wind out of your sails. But I'm glad that first chapter's over, the Florence, and we was able to secure not just a championship, we also got the heat race challenge too.
Oh, nice.
So we won 18 heat races this year, and I think I don't know, we won 13 heat races there.
Yeah. So we'll kind of, I don't mean to say dumb it down a little bit, but we do have probably some newer people, fans watching that hasn't been around or haven't been so involved that don't realize, and I can't say it enough, how people that watch don't realize how much of a full-time job this is to go out and have fun.
Yeah.
So you have a full-time job, you own a business, plus you have this full-time job. Take us through I don't know,
a normal week.
Give me a short version of a normal week.
All right. So I start my week on Sundays. So go to church, then come over after church. We unload the car, we wash it, we bring it in here, and as long as we tear nothing up, we'll bring it in, put it up on here. If we tore something up, we'll start taking sheet metal off, whatever we got to do.
Yep.
Monday we don't work on the car. That's the only day.
Monday's an off day.
Yeah, Monday's an off day unless we tore up the car and we got it.
Right. So, we got to get parts ordered or something. Sure.
I come over every Tuesday. We work on the car, whether it's changing the oil or changing the gears, changing tires, mounting them up, airing, fixing stuff, making sure bars are straight. All the normal maintenance stuff. And then Wednesday's church, and then Thursday we're back here working on the car, getting the final touches in because we race on Fridays.
Right.
So Fridays is kind of a short day for us. So, I close down shop at 2. I come straight here, just one more walk around the car, load up, make sure everything's there, head to Mueller's, race on Friday.
Do you do a checklist? Like, hey, check this. This got checked. This got checked.
No.
So you got everything. Just
I don't
wing
do a
it?
checklist. In the beginning, I did, and if there's something special, I used to take a piece of tape and put it over by my driver's door, and I'd write
make
down
a list,
anything outside the ordinary. But I think I've been racing, long enough now, and I've had, been in the sport mod class long enough now that I'm very familiar with the different things. Everything, the things I do every week.
I got to the point where I had a list. I didn't start out with a list, but then later on, the longer I did it, I had a list because I learned more. So there's more I needed to pay attention to and stuff.
Yeah. So with 4-bar cars and that, checking bolts tight is a big thing. And, just looking over the car a lot, making sure there's not something bent. If we got hit in the right rear this week, let's check it. We spent 3 races on a bent axle. We didn't know. That's what we had, just put it back in here because. And but other things break, and it feels like you always find something when you get in a wreck. You be fighting that for 3 weeks, because you
didn't find it when it happened.
You're like, well, this is broke, so let's replace that, and you don't realize what else is in the process. So but Saturday race, we short turnaround, so we change breathers,
clean
wash the car,
and maintenance everything.
Yeah, do all that again, and then. They have a little different rules at Florence, so we changed the pull bar. If you're allowed to pull bar there, so we changed that. And other than that, load back up, go race Florence, and start back over on Sunday.
So we'll dive into this as well. People don't realize too. So different size track requires a different gear.
Yep.
You guys aren't running the old Ford style rear ends.
Yep,
now it's as easy as a quick change.
Yep.
Unbolt the housing, change some gears.
Yep.
Put it right back together.
You got 6 bolts on the back of the housing.
How nice is that?
You drain your oil out as you're doing that, and then you got 2 gears. You slip back in, and
so you don't have the old pig, the old yoke you have to pull out, and the axles to slide out.
Not anymore.
Yeah, we got away from that.
When we first got into the mod, so take it back. So I raced go-karts for 12 years.
Yeah.
And then my classes was dying out. Started getting more expensive. We had to start traveling so far and all that. So I wanted to get back into a big car because when I was in the Chevettes, I was too young I had to shift, do all that stuff.
Sure.
And I always regretted not being back on a big track because I'm like, if I knew what I know now back then, now that I drive on the street, all the extra things I knew, I didn't know what cross was. I didn't know none of that when I raced Chevettes because I was just learning. And I'm like, man, if I knew that stuff back then, I could have probably won some Chevette races. I could have done better, instead of just being out there. And so I went ahead and traded my go-kart, race ready, 5 sets of tires, and my truck for my very first mod, sport mod.
Truck and all.
Yeah, I mean, I just anything I could get rid of that I didn't need because I wanted to get back in a big car.
Yeah.
So we drove down to Kentucky, traded for a mod, and that one had a 9-inch in it.
Okay.
So we changed some gears. We had like 15 minutes. Me and Dad could change the gear. We had the jack. And, take all the bolts. Had to take drive shaft out, pull the axles.
It was a job, man.
Yeah, so he had what he did. I had what I did, and
you guys had a rhythm.
We had a rhythm. So most guys would not dream of changing, the 9-inch at the track.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But we would.
Sure.
So
when you got help and you guys
yeah.
got a system down, that's good.
That helps.
That's awesome.
But now I won't say I won't go back to a 9-inch, but it's like, it's like if it's so easy, why would you not?
Yeah.
Why would you want to?
Is it worth having a little lighter and less rotating weight? Is it worth that?
I don't know. I mean, I think they definitely say there's less friction in them and that they're lighter. And
30 pounds.
Yep. So I mean, I agree there.
Plus another set of gears you're not having to rotate. So
I mean, I say if our motors had 200 horsepower, you're fighting for every little thing.
Yeah.
I'd say yeah, but tracks around here are so slick sometimes.
Yeah.
I think that doesn't. Sometimes the weight might help too.
Yeah.
Because
there's always that.
Yeah. So slick track, more weight in the tail weight helps a little bit. So
I got you. Well, you got a couple pieces of paper here. I know you got some people you got to thank. So here's your opportunity. Before we wrap things up, let's start wrapping up with who all helps you out and who you got to thank.
So first, I got to thank. I'll thank my pit crew. So my son Matthew, like I said, he stepped up big time last year, and then this year he's my crew chief, and so anytime I'm at the track, he does anything I need him to do, and he's learning a lot because eventually he'll be driving this car here probably in a couple years, or maybe a different car.
The next car, the new car.
Yeah. Well, maybe. We'll see, but he'll be racing regardless here in the next couple years, and so same like with me. You're going to learn what's what, so you can tell me.
Sure.
So he helped me out a lot. My dad, I mean, he's helped me since I started. I've been racing for 20 years, so the first Chevette he bought when I got the Avion roll. So and he's been helping me and spending money ever since. So
I know your dad's got a lot of knowledge and stuff that he's passing on and helping you out a lot with.
And my wife, our first date was to a go-kart track. She was cleaning the tires on my go-kart, so she's helped me ever since.
Hey, there you go. You're starting off on the right foot.
So yeah, she's been there, and people don't see her as much now because she works at Muller's now some, and we had kids and a house to maintain and that, but like she's still a big part and still helps a lot. And my mom, we're out here working Tuesdays, Thursdays, and whatever, bringing us dinner out here in the garage on the car, and then my brother and Jonathan, and then Jeff and Chad and Tom Carter, he helps out a lot on there, and he's actually a sponsor too.
Nice.
So his son, passed away many years ago, and they used to love going to the dirt track together.
Right.
So he kind of got involved helping us, and
this thing is covered with sponsors.
I'll have a ton. That's
tell us about
your
tell us about your sponsor.
So we got Roger Weinmiller. So it's Keep Jesus Famous right here on the sail panel.
Yep.
He's helped me for years now.
Okay.
Him and Tina, and just great people to be around.
Yeah.
And he had a couple kids pass away of overdoses, and so he's been spreading awareness ever since.
It's tough.
So United We Stand Against Heroin is part of him, and then we got Cincy Lift Truck, Calgary Heating and Cooling, First National Bank, Brenda Doman, Matt's Graphics. Let's see, we got Watson Contracting. That's my uncle and that. They own the motor. They build it. They,
nice.
They do everything with that. So
that's a good sponsor.
Oh yeah, it's a real good people. We got CW Wood Machinery, Pemberton Plumbing. They've been with me several years now. Guyman Burkhart, Artco, Weber Race Supply. So Jenny Weber, I tell you what, man, you need a part, you get it with her, you'll get it. She could find it. It doesn't matter. You'll get it. So.
I've had to call her before, and if she didn't have it, she can get it, or she knew somebody that's got it, and then she can replace their.
She's been real good to me. Shaw Race Cars. So I got Kevin Shaw's number, on speed dial if I need it.
Kevin.
I don't call. I try not to bother him, but the dude is so knowledgeable. That's why I'll stick with these Shaw Race Cars. And that's why we ordered a new one.
It's worked for you.
Oh yeah, I mean. We almost won the first 6 races of the year out this year.
Nice.
After taking it to him over the winter and letting him help me set it up. So they've been a big help. And Burt by Clark does my transmissions. Randy Clark. I think that's about all of them. Oh, Guyman, G&K Plumbing. So G&K Plumbing is another one. Another good help.
Yeah.
So.
Well, man, that's awesome. You got a list, and you got good support, people helping you out, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so
I've been definitely blessed.
You seem like you got the right recipe to maybe win some more championships if you want.
Yeah. I think we're going to try to go just for next year and see if we can just win races.
And have fun.
Run some of the money stuff. And we had 6 wins on the year this year, so it's been the best year so far. Let's see if we can get more than that next year, but spread out the tracks.
More wins, more fun, right?
Yep, always. So
well, Matt, good luck on the big race next week. 10,000 win, King of Sport Mods. King of Compacts at Florence Speedway next week.
The one thing I say, I'm guaranteed to be I'm in the feature already.
Oh, you're calling it.
Well,
You're in, or do you have?
I got a guaranteed starting spot for win the championship.
You have a provisional.
Yeah, so one way or the other, I'll be able to be in it. So.
Nice.
So that's a lot of reasons.
That's got to help a little bit.
Yeah.
Take everything we can get, right?
I hope I can make it, and Carson, gets a provisional, or whoever
right.
needs it next. But yeah. So.
Cool. Good deal. Well, Matt, thanks for having us. Thanks for taking the time.
Yep.
I know you said you've been busy, getting ready. Like you said earlier, the rear end was standing up over against the wall.
Yeah, we just put it in here tonight right before y'all got here. So.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, again, man, we appreciate you taking the time to tell us some of your stories and slinging dirt with us, man.
All right, appreciate it.
Yep. So, folks, race fans, appreciate you tuning in and watching. Checkered flag on this session. I don't know. We're pretty close to Dirty 30. So, Dirty 30 with Matt Watson here in the shop tonight, out here in Owensville. Matt, again, good luck, and we'll see you guys at the track next week.